Hey, I just wanted to give you an update on what I was doing and ordered new belts for this pulley back here because I think the belt was stretched from where I had it locked, and I activated it and it wouldn't move, so the belt I think stretched a little bit. I think that might be part of my problem of it not repeating correctly. Now the brake unit, when you release the switch, it releases the brake, so that's not locking it. So what happened was I had this little gear holder attached and activated the brake, and the switch, and it moved. So anyway, I bought two new belts. One is a spare. And like I said, I ordered the belts and they came really quick, within like 4 days. And I figured while the unit was down, I would go ahead and redo this part. This is the part I had to cut out for clearance for that wheel I had on the side here. So I thought, well, I'll dress it up a little bit, and I made a new one. To replace this one. I'm still going to have it, but I'm not using it now because of the indexers. I got the new reader on it. So what I did over here was, this is the one I had before. Had this attached, and I had the card sitting in here with the magnet on the inside, the shaft going through to the wheel in the front. And when I was running it, it wasn't repeating, and I figured, well, part of it's the belt, but then again, if I wanted to start the unit at a different location other than 0, I had no way of doing it. So remember before that I had this guy on there, and I could rotate that. I could rotate this to make it read whatever I wanted to just by rotating it. It's the same thing as rotating this unit here, but you're rotating this piece inside of this piece, which is giving it a different reading because you can adjust it. By rotating it, you're adjusting it for different angles. So I wanted that capability of being able to adjust it, if not just to zero it out. After you use it a couple times, it might not go back to 0, and then you'd have to turn it off and turn it on, and I didn't want to have to do that. So like I said, this is what I had before. So I made up this one, which fits the square card, and I made a new one of these. And this old one had 2 holes for the spring, and it really wasn't quite enough. I wanted something a little more secure, so I put four springs on this one. So I already had it drawn up in the CAD model. So all I did was just take this hole, kick it up a little bit, and then mirror it, and then mirror it again on the other side. So I had 4 holes, 4 tapped holes. Now this one I had 632 screws in it, and the issue I was having was that when I put the spring on there, the spring was about the same diameter as the screw, and it was hard to get the washer to go in there because the washer was about the same diameter as the spring, and it would basically just fall through. So it wasn't really holding. So what I did was I used 440 screws on this one, and then I used metric washers with the little springs I had, and that worked out great. Like I said, this was the one I was originally made up, but I didn't like the feel of it. So I made a new one, and I made it longer, and I made the detents in it kind of like a aerospace fitting. I just it's like running an end mill through it, ball end mill, but I did it on the 3D printer. And what I did was I put a slot on the bottom. See the slot? And the reason I did that was I had this other one, and I soldered the wires onto it. Then you had the length of wire, and I was going to pass it through there and then hook it up into this unit. And I thought, well, then I have to, desolder it and resolder this and hook up these wires onto those wires. And, I thought, well, I just put a slot in it like I did with all these other components. All these are slotted, so I could just disconnect the nut and then lift it out. So that's what I did. Was this is the original one that I had. I just took it off of here and I put it through that slot. I just cut that on a bandsaw. If I had thought about it ahead of time, I could have incorporated that into the model, and it would have printed it in there. But I mean, it's no big deal. Just take it on a bandsaw and just cut a slot in it. Doesn't affect it one bit. I mean, you still got the screw holes in it, and you really only need to fasten it by 2 screws. Anyway, I'm really happy with the way this is going, and I like the fact that, like I said, I got a little adjustment here if I wanted to adjust it. Like let's say you go to 30 degrees, and then you have to start from 30 degrees and go somewhere else. I could rotate this back to 0 and then go somewhere else. Like if you're doing incremental moves of sorts. But yeah, I got the new belt, and I got these pieces, so I'm going to put that all together. And I made a new piece over here. New piece for this. Now see this black piece, it's not painted aluminum, it's anodized aluminum. And I happened to come across that, and I thought, well, that'd be really nice. But I didn't have a piece big enough to redo it. And I was going to print it on the printer, and it said it was going to take like 5 hours to print that. And I said, I'm not going to waste 5 hours to print that. So, I figured, well, I could do that in about a half hour, just cut out a piece of aluminum, pop a couple holes in it, and chew it up a little bit, and yeah, that's what I did. I cut a slot in it, put some holes in it, so it's good to go. There's no point in wasting the 3D printer on something like that. So here we are again, gonna put it back together, give it a shot. Hopefully it'll work a little better. But I'll let you know what's going on a little bit later. Okay, bye.